bringing you analysis and insight into the Crimson Tide. Your Crimson Cover hosts, John Copeland, Mike Parker, and Chase Goodbread. Sponsored by Alabama Credit Union and by Hometown Lenders. And now, Crimson Cover.
Welcome to Crimson Cover Television on WVUA, Alabama's home team. I am Chase Goodbread of NFL.com, joined by Mike Parker, our recruiting analyst, Big John Copeland from the 92 Alabama National Championship team. Lots to get into on this edition of Crimson Cover. Of course, we're going to be breaking down the Crimson Tide's game against Mississippi State. We will recap the big home win over LSU last week, which vaulted Alabama, of course, into the driver's seat in the SEC West. We've got a pretty big recruiting update for you. Mike's going to have plenty on that front. We'll have our Week 11 picks in the final segment and a whole lot more. But we kick things off talking about Alabama's game against Mississippi State this weekend. The Crimson Tide on the road in Starkville against a Mississippi State team that's been solid this year, but certainly not spectacular. And we'll begin with a look at the Alabama defense against that Mississippi State offense. John, when you talk about Mississippi State's offense, the conversation begins and ends with Dak Prescott.
You're talking about Dak Prescott. There's no question about it. He's their leading rusher, their leading passer. He's the guy that they're going to put the ball in his hand, and he's the guy that's going to make plays for this team. Here's the thing with Mississippi State and Dak Prescott. He's not going to have a whole lot of success on running plays that are designed for him to run the football. His best chance to have success against this Alabama team is to run the football when the passing game breaks down. I think he can have a lot of success there because that's where Alabama has trouble defending dual threat quarterbacks. But they can't go into this game thinking the game plan is going to be call running plays with Dak Prescott.
Mike, this guy is actually Mississippi State, as John noted. He's their leading rusher. To me, bad sign if your quarterback is your leading rusher. I know he's a spectacular athlete and does a lot of things for the Bulldogs. But look, when they had Josh Robinson last year, who ran for roughly 100 yards a game or close to it, they were a much better offense. This year, they don't have that guy in the backfield. Prescott's having to do it all. There's a lot of pressure on this man.
Well, that's because their second leading rusher is called Brandon Holloway, and they list this guy at 5'8", 160. I don't believe it. He looks to be about 5'6", 150 pounds. You want to run that guy up the gut against Alabama, good luck. I'm with John. The only way they're going to be able to rush are maybe some design quarterback runs and when the defense breaks down. This guy is one of the best players in the country, Dak Prescott, and he's tough as nails, man. He doesn't make mistakes. He's got 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. Just the fact that he's their leading rusher at about 46 yards a game tells you what their game plan is going to do. They're going to chunk it all over the field.
He's right on double zeros with his completions and attempts. 200 completions, 300 attempts for the season. So that's an impressive rate. He's completing 2/3 of his passes. De'Runnya Wilson is his top target, a really impressive 6'5" wide receiver.
Out of Alabama.
Out of Alabama. Former Mr. Basketball, as a matter of fact, in the state of Alabama. And he's the kind of receiver, John, who gives Alabama trouble. It's that big 6'4", 6'5" guy.
Mike Evans type.
That gives Alabama trouble sometimes. The question, here's the thing, though. For Mississippi State to consistently move the ball, that guy's going to have a huge game.
And here's the problem with that. In order for Runyon to have a big game, they have to be able to have success blocking Alabama defensive front. And I just don't think they can do that. We keep guys fresh up front. I think this is the best pass rushing team that, from the defensive line standpoint, that Nick Saban have had since he's been here. These guys really get after the quarterback. And if they can get you in downs where they know you're going to pass the football, Mississippi State is going to be in a lot of trouble.
I think one thing they might try to do to counteract that is Dan Mullen may put his foot on the gas just to try to pick up first downs and keep us from substituting those big boys in.
Alabama's offense against the Mississippi State defense, we'll touch on that here as well. Mississippi State comes in ranked number 11 in the entire NCAA in scoring defense, giving up only 17.2 points per game. That's not a lot. They're giving up 370 yards. which only ranks, I think, about 48th or 49th in the country. But it's a pretty salty Mississippi State defense, Mike.
Yeah, they're not bad. I think Alabama will have success moving the ball and, some quick throws. I mean, it's practically, same thing we talk about all week. Derrick Henry's going to have to get his dose.
30 times.
Hey, but did I say last week?
Don't back
I'm not.
up.
Hey, no, I'm
Keep
not.
the foot on the gas, Parker.
Did I say last week?
Last week he said feed him as much as he wants.
Of course, because it's LSU.
That's exactly
but
right.
what have he said up until that point?
Hey, look. I stand by.
What's the right amount of carries for Derrick Henry this week against Mississippi State, in your opinion?
This is a big game too.
Answer the question.
No. Hey, at least I'm honest.
Answer the question.
Yes, at least you're honest.
30.
Look, won't you say, look, Sal was wrong. Then you're being honest. Sal was wrong.
No, I was not wrong. 32 carries every ball game for the rest of the season is too much. That's and I'll stand by that.
Really?
I'll stand by that.
Not 32 for Auburn. Not 32 if they play Ohio State in the first round of the playoff. Not 32 if they play in the national championship game. That's what you're saying.
Is the games are only going to get bigger and bigger.
So that's what you're saying.
From this point forward. But
where were we talking before we got into this subject?
Look,
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We're flowing right into our next subject, which is Derrick Henry for the Heisman Trophy. John, has he passed Leonard Fournette with last week's performance? Given that Fournette got shut down, does Fournette still lead the way for the Heisman Trophy?
You know, Chase. You just never know right now. When you look at it from a yardage standpoint, Fournette is definitely still the front runner. But you look at it from a success that your team is having, Henry is going to be the guy. But if I'm Derrick Henry, and I think this is the case, you're not worried about the Heisman right now. You're worried about the next game. In the game after that, and then trying to win a national championship. Because if you win a national championship, you stand a better chance of winning the Heisman with the national championship.
Well, the Heisman gets announced before that, though. The Heisman will get announced the first week of December.
It'll be after the championship, SEC championship game, right?
And you stand a better chance to win the Heisman if you still playing football.
Yeah.
I understand that. But everybody's going to have a bowl game regardless.
Well, look, is it going to be fair?
Everybody's still playing football.
I understand what you're saying, but you know what I'm saying, too. If your team is in a hunt to win a national championship,
it helps.
Yes.
Is it going to be fair that if he, just judging him off that one ball game, let's say he runs for 190 yards for the rest of the way, but he doesn't get that award because he was stopped and Derrick Henry continued to have success throughout the season?
Yes, of course. If you're the best player in college football, you have to perform in the biggest game of that season. There's no question about it.
He did it for sure. Derrick Henry with a shot at the Heisman Trophy. We'll keep an eye on that down the stretch as we finish off the 2015 season. That finishes off the first segment here on Crimson Cover. When we come back, we'll be recapping Alabama's win over LSU, a recruiting update as well. Stay with us. You're watching Crimson Cover on WVUA, Alabama's home team.